Now, ahead of the 2023 general election, the Transition Monitoring Group is calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission and other relevant agencies to stop politicians from using illegitimate funds to win elections. TMG Chairman Auwal Rafsanjani, while briefing journalists in Abuja, says there is a need for tough legislation against vote buying and other electoral malpractices. He also condemns the contradictory judgments from courts of coordinate jurisdiction and warns politicians not to drag the judiciary into disrepute.
Corruption in Nigeria's electoral processes is showing no sign of leaving soon as politicians continue to flaunt unaccounted campaign spending and party financing by using illegitimate funds as a sole means of winning voters over. INEC and other relevant agencies need to tackle the menace to allow voters to form a more objective opinion of the people they are to vote for.
TMG, just like every other Nigerian, has been embarrassed by the kind of judgments we're getting. And even courts that did not have jurisdiction were giving judgments on issues of candidacy of political parties. So this is a time when we would expect that the Chief Justice of Nigeria will call these judges to order. And we're happy that he's already tackling it, and he has invited some of them to meetings. You know, we had heard in the past how some judges lost their jobs because of these kind of issues.
We need to see how we can work with the judiciary, even if it has to do with engaging the judiciary more strongly on how they can understand how the democratic system works. And most of these issues are identified that could undermine the integrity of the judiciary, especially when it comes to the electoral cycle. We want to see how we can also begin to track most of those issues and make it much more, hold the judiciary accountable for most of the motions and others that most of these politicians are presenting before them.
Well, for more insight on the group's observations, the chairman of the Transition Monitoring Group, TMG, Auwal Rafsanjani, he joins us now for more. Glad to have you join us in the studios, Auwal. Let me start from what you call illegitimate funds, and does INEC really have the power to tackle this, or should this be addressed to EFCC or the ICPC?
Well, to deal with this issue effectively, there's need for interagency coordination and collaboration. There's no way just one body can be able to deal with this, because you are dealing with a high-profile, politically exposed person who have the ways and means to undermine even the law itself, not talk of just the INEC as an institution alone. So we need the political will from all the stake actors to ensure that, you know, we minimize the use of money in our electoral process, because the system now has been totally privatized, commercialized, and it is simply for sale. So if you want to bring some level of sanity and also stop people who have unexplained wealth to come and hijack political offices for self-centered interests, then there's need for every stakeholder, both from the non-state actors and from the state actors, to come together to bring some level of sanity. In that case, you will be able to encourage Nigerians who are competent, qualified, non-corrupt, and have the passion and interest of the development of this country to come into political offices. Otherwise, with the level of use of money, whether it is clean or illegitimate money, to hijack offices and, you know, get themselves into offices, because usually it's not the election that really takes some of them. It is because when you undermine from the party primary, when you undermine internal democracy to allow the party to function, to allow genuine candidates who express interest, who have probably, you know, popular vote or popular support, but because he or she did not steal enough to bribe the party, to bribe officials, then you will have alienated or deprived other competent Nigerians who have the interests of the country and the people to come into leadership position.
So what exactly are the specifics in terms of recommendations to improve Nigeria's electoral process? And of course, you address the issue of the need for autonomy of state judiciaries and the houses of assembly. Maybe you even want to shed light on how this is affecting, governance at the state level. Or what are your recommendations?
Well, one of our recommendations first is to bring some level of sanity in the current political party system operation. You have so many political parties that are lacking in internal democracy, that are not accountable. Political parties are public institutions because they use public taxpayers' money to run, the parties. People contribute, and some of the state officials, they actually use state resources to finance political parties. So it is not a private affairs. It is a public institutions that must be run according to the rule
of the game.
Of the game. That's number one. So we need, we are going to embark on massive advocacy to ensure that political parties are reformed in this country, because we do not have option of independent candidature. So if anybody who is coming to contest election, we must come through political parties. And if the parties are presenting people with questionable character, people who are not competent, then at the end of the day, Party 1 and Party 2, Party 3, they all present candidates that are not desirable to be in the leadership position. So the voters will have no option then to choose from bad candidate from Party A or Party B. So, in that case, democracy is undermined, good governance is undermined, and transparency and accountability will become illusion. So that is why TMG is going to embark on advocacy to sensitize the political party system, in Nigeria, to ensure that there's a sanity in the political party system. But more importantly, to mobilize Nigerian people to know the implication of allowing themselves to be used, their vote be actually vote, or to even, support politicians that are engaging only, or that are interested only in impoverishing them with more poverty, unemployment, and
let me come that. A very quick one. The CJ, and I'll listen to one of your officials, has invited the judges responsible for those contradictory judgments. Then the NJC will take it over from there. The former chairman of INEC, Tahiru Jega, was here. He blamed the politicians for sure for circumventing rules between the politicians and the judges. Where would you place the blame, really? And what do you suggest in the immediate as a way around this? Very briefly.
Yeah, really, actually, the politicians are the main, problems. If the politician can play the politics in a manner that is agreed, by our law, I think we will minimize some of these excesses that are happening. Number two, lack of sanction and penalty, is what is giving this impunity, to rise. So if there is a deterrent, if you do X, Y, Z, you know that there's a consequences. Whether you belong to ruling party or you belong to opposition party, you will know that if you break the law will, apply on you. But if because you feel that you are too big, for the law, for the nation, you do whatever you want to do, there's no way we can get it right. So politicians must reform and improve in the way and manner in which they conduct their affairs. Equally important, the use of or misuse of the security personnel in some instances had to stop, because a situation whereby people who are in power, who are also competing or contesting election, they will use the security personnel to aid and support them, has to change. Otherwise, you will make Nigerians to lose hope and confidence in the system. Right. But more importantly, you must stop electoral fraud, manipulation, and violence orchestrated by people who are interested to just hijack power, not through democracy. Okay.
Of course, you've also called for the amendment of INEC Act that empowers it to conduct local government elections. Thank you so much, Auwal Rafsanjani, Chairman TMG.